Hello, Chris here. Alright, another video showing you the benefits of Fairlight in Resolve. Now, these things called mega modes, which is what we're going to talk about right now. In the mixer, it's a lot to do with, okay, if I'm looking at a particular track, let's say we're going to look at this particular track here, then you've got these ones here, your path, your EQ, and it's shown all here, it's shown on there. So if I go to EQ, it shows your EQ stuff, your dynamics, your auxiliary, and your plugins, any plugins you've got going on there, right? So that's all in the mixer. Again, you've got your looping stuff, you've got your zoom again, that's a very handy zoom. So that's just all mixer type stuff. Again, for any of those, I find this super handy too. So I'm just going to put the keys on. Now again, it doesn't really look like much is going on there, so I'm just going to actually go to my editor, and I'm going to go to my clip level and just put the display up high so it can see what we're doing here. Fine. Now I'm going to take it down to like 16 channels so it can see what I'm doing. Right. So I'm listening to just the keys here, okay? And if I'm going to say, for instance, I'm just going to switch on EQ. I can do that all from here. So if I go to my editor, to my EQ, and I switch on, my EQ is on, right? And then the great thing is that if I listen to just this, keys, right? I can immediately do, here I can adjust the EQ and then the frequency of that EQ, very handily. Then the next one down. So, right, and then same thing, all the different ones. Again, I can also hold down the blue key and just reset everything. Boop, 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 boop. Right? But let's just listen to that a little bit here. Let's just go back a little bit. And you'll get an idea of what it's like and why having these knobs on the side is super handy. Alright, here we go. Listen to this. I can really find the tuning of that. I never say, oh, I want it to be a bit wider. Hold down this, and then I'm doing the cue of that. You can do that with any of them. Isn't that cool? Because I'm adjusting both at the same time. You can really feel the honk area and go, okay, I want to take that out a little bit. And it's a bit tight, so let's just widen it a little bit like that. Again, same with the bass, putting up the bass, whatever. It's sounding wacky now. Isn't that cool? And again, if you go, you know what, I'm done with this, I'm just going to reset it. You just press all, hold down the blue key and switch it off. Isn't that cool? Okay, so that's just on the EQ settings. That's just playing with the EQ. Same with dynamics. I can go on this and it'll show me what's happening. There's a limiter on. Is there a limiter on? No, the limiter's off. So let's just say I was going to put a limiter on there. I can just adjust the limit there and it shows it. If I go into my compressor, it actually shows the compressor is in there. Again, it shows... I think there's a gate on there too. Yeah, the gate's on. So let's switch off that gate. Again, so you can adjust all of the parameters of your ratio. So you can adjust any of those things on the screen, just like that. Very handy dandy, clean as a whistle. And of course, it shows you the levels of what's actually happening if something is being compressed. Oh, there's the markup there, makeup. And let's just say I was on the limiter and I want to bring it down for no good reason. Or no, let's say gate. Gate and gate in. So you can see how the gate ratio, right, like that. It's so darn handy. So you've got the transport, you've got all your transport, and you've got the adjusters with these knobs on the side. Again, all of that sounds like garbage, so I'm going to reset it all. Or I can just switch it off. Compressor off, gate, everything off. EQ, even the EQ you can switch off if you don't want it. And then straight with the path is basically your panning. So you've got your level that you can change on the actual track there too. It's also adjusting here, the physical one, or I can do it here. You can see the same thing. But the cool thing is there, again, you can see how wide your stereo image is, how much you want to spread it. You know, you can even rotate it around if you're going to do a 5.1 thing, how much divergence each of them has. You can just roll it around like that. Isn't that just bananas? I love it. I'm just going to reset all of this because of course it's insane. But that gives you an idea. Again, all coming from here. Oh, by the way, auxiliaries is that. You just basically, you can switch them on and send stuff. So your main things, path, EQ, dynamics, auxiliaries, and plugins. So let's just add a plugin. Config, add plugin. Ooh, which one are we going to add? Let's add the BX Console AMX 9099. Add. Now, this gets very cool, right? It's come up on the screen there, you can see it. Now, I could go in and I could adjust all these things here with the mouse like a poor one-fingered person, right? Now, I could also adjust it here, so I can change my V-gain. There's different things that you can adjust here, and there's actually multiple pages of things that you can adjust here. And you can do 2 of them at once. Look at that. Isn't that cool? Or 3, depending on how many fingers you have. Look. Well, and that's great. Love it. But, and this is the cool part. This is very, very cool. I'm showing off now. You're going to be able to see it from the top here, and you won't be able to really see it anywhere else, okay? But I'm just going to go in, and then I'm going to just, because these are touch screens, I can just touch these things like this. Isn't that fantastic? I can switch these buttons on and off. I can do whatever I want here, all by touching this very skeuomorphic design thing. I think that is absolutely fantastic. The new version of this desk, the screens are not touchscreen. Now, it doesn't mean you can't add it. You can add a touchscreen monitor, no problem, and of course it will work. But the default ones that come out like this right now, the Blackmagic big professional desks, they found that not many people use the touchscreen. They ended up just going quickly and doing it on the controls. But I think going into the age of it being a DAW and being used more by musicians, they want to be able to look at something and grab. So if you had a PC and you had a touchscreen, they're not actually that expensive, just normal touchscreen monitors, and you want to be able to just grab a thing on the screen, I think that's very, very cool. Anyway, alright, so let's just look at this particular track here, right? So let's just say I was going to come in here. So that's on the mixer. It's funny, there's a little button here called Explain, and you hold that down and then press a button and it tells you Dynamics, EQ, and Insert. Anything you can do with this button, you can press this Explain button and press anything. Plugins, it comes up, brings the plugins, blah, 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 blah. It basically is a manual built in. Fantastic. Anyhow, so that's the mega modes. May they remain mega. Alright, this one is very heavily biased towards using this center panel here. But I think it makes sense. Alright, cheers.